guys, it's Mari here, and Kelly, Barron, and I are back with another challenge this week for Scrap the Challenge. And this week we decided to do a grab 5 challenge, which it reminds me of definitely of Inky Quill and Adele and her grab 5 challenges. I love that idea. I think it's really cool, and it's a neat way to come up with some different products to use on your layout. So we decided to challenge ourselves to grab 5 things from our stash that we could use on a layout. And today what I'm going to show you are the things that I chose, and then the process will follow. So I chose to use this yellow gelato as part of my layout. I chose to use a whole bunch of papers from Paige Taylor Evans' Oh My Heart collection. And I'm not sure if this is from that collection or another Paige Evans collection, but it's all Paige Evans pattern paper. I also chose to use the sticker book from that collection from Oh My Heart. I also chose die cuts from the Oh My Heart die cut pack. And I'm also using the chipboard alphas from that collection as well. So those are my 5 things. And stay tuned, and I'll have the process video following up. Bye-bye. See you in a minute. So what I decided to do was to start off with this pattern paper that has these strips on it. And I'm going to take and cut all of these strips, and I'm actually going to use those plus a few other papers from the collection to weave a mat for my photographs. So I'm just going to take a bunch of the papers now that I have cut into strips, and you'll just see me weaving the papers sort of like in and out to create that mat. And I'll just show you how I did that here for just to get it started. And then I actually finish up the weaving of this mat off camera, just because it takes me a little bit of time. And once I kind of get the hang of it, it goes quickly, but just until I sort of get it rolling here. And I do have this sped up quite a bit just so that it doesn't take quite as long for you to watch this. But this is a really simple, easy way to create something that's a really interesting focal piece for your layout. And these strips of paper were perfect for that because they have sort of like all of that variety of different pattern on them. So it just makes it look really cool. And so I'm just going to get this little weave started here. Sorry for my voice, it's a little bit croaky tonight. And I like how those the ends of the papers are angled like that. They're cut on an angle, and you'll see that I don't straighten those out. I like that feature. I think it makes them look a little bit more interesting, and so I keep that, and I add to that a little bit here at the end of creating this mat. So you can see that the last strip that I put in there, I put in wrong, and I realized that here very quickly, and I go back and change that up here. So I just fix that quickly. And you'll see that what I'm doing just to secure these is I just glue them on the end pieces so that they stay in place. So now I'm just going to take and trim off the ends of the paper that are straight so that they're all cut on an angle like that. And I just really like how that looks. I think it looks neat. It almost looks a little bit like it's quilted or something. I just really like the looks of this. You could actually add some sewing to this to make it look a little bit even more interesting, add a little bit more detail to it. I did not do that, but that is an idea for you if you're looking for something to make this a little bit different from what I did with mine here. So what I'm doing here is I'm also trying to cut the ends of the paper at the same angle that the other end of that same strip of paper is cut at. And it doesn't really have to be, a specific pattern or anything, but I just tried to make it look like they at least were cut in some sort of there was a method to it in some way. And I just wanted to make sure that it was going to be long enough. So I just kept taking my photograph strip and I kept putting it on there just to make sure that it was going to be long enough for the 2 photographs that I'm going to be using here. So the photos that I'm using are cut or are printed at, I believe, 3 by 2.6, I think they were cut or they were printed. And I'm using 2 photographs here that have Snapchat filters on them. So, but they're cut the same size. So as soon as you reduce your size on your on my PictureMate, my little Epson PictureMate, it automatically prints 2 of those photos on your paper. And if you have all different photos on your stick that you're printing from, then it actually will print all of your photos continuously on different 2 different photos on the same sheet. I'm not explaining this very well, but anyways, if you're just trying to print a couple of photos and not all of the photos on your memory stick, you'll end up with doubles on the same sheet. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, what I'm doing now is I'm taking my gelato. I have treated my white paper with some opaque gesso, and I've just scribbled a light layer of my yellow gelato on there. I'm just taking a baby wipe just to spread that out. And this is a really super easy way to get some color in your background. And you could use gelatos for this, or you could use acrylic paint. You could use neocolors if you have neocolors in your stash. Any kind of coloring tool like that would work. Now I'm just going to take some navy blue cardstock. I just want to make my pictures pop off that busy background map that they're going to be going on. So I'm going to back them on some navy blue. Now I'm going to just take some color shine in orange and pink and green, and I'm going to just add a few splatters behind where my photograph is going to go. And this will just poke out a little bit here and there behind the photos, and where I have the title over to the right side of my photographs here eventually. So I'm going to just take another piece of pattern paper from Paige Evans, and I'm going to gut that. I'm going to use that as a frame for behind my my main mat here. You can see that I've actually glued my white cardstock down onto a piece of cardboard, and it's just some paper that was a cardboard piece that was in some pattern paper. Now you can see I've got my nice yellow base there. I'm going to put my mat that I've created, that I did that weaving with. I'm going to pop that up on using some foam tape, and I'm going to place that onto my yellow base area. And that way that'll just bring that up a little bit and give it a little more dimension. And now you can see that I'm going to add my matted photos to a piece of aqua colored cardstock, and I'm going to just do my add my journaling right underneath that, which I typed using my Memory Keeper's typewriter. So these photographs are just, like I said, they're using the Snapchat filter. The one on the left is just me with a puzzled look on my face, and the one on the right is me and one of my colleagues at work. And the layout, the journaling that I'm doing here is about work, and about how some days I come home from work and it's kind of like, what? Like, what just happened there? Because I feel like I have a really challenging job, but a lot of us feel that way, right? It's obviously not specific to teaching. It's a lot of different jobs. In fact, probably all jobs. And some days I just come home and I'm just kind of like, and then I think about, well, of course, the students, but also the people that I work with. I work with a really great group of people, and the filter on the right is a picture of me and one of my colleagues with the Breaking Bad filter on it, and it's pretty funny because he actually looks like the guy from Breaking Bad, which is pretty hilarious. On Halloween, he often dresses up like the character. So yeah, that's just a little explanation of the photographs that I'm using here, and the journaling that I'm doing, and so on. And so you can see that I've added the thickers from the collection for my title, How What, ? And then it says in the small alphas, the little tiles, all in a day's work. Just taking some of the die cuts, and I'm going to create a little cluster down to the bottom right there. And I'm going to use some of those, one of those little rose gold stickers that says, oh yeah, and a chipboard flower. It's going to go in there, and then you can see that I'm going to just add a couple of other little stickers in a couple of other places here. I'm going to add another flower over by my title, and I've also added one of the die cut flowers to the corner over by the photograph. So that's going to be about it for my layout today. So this was Grab 5, and make sure you check out Kelly's layout that she did for our Grab 5 challenge this week as well. I know she's been really super sick, and I think she's hopefully on the mend. And I'm going to leave a link to her channel here down below so that you can go and check out her challenge layout as well. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate it. Have an amazing day, and I will see you another time. Bye.